Emilia had always been fascinated by the unusual and the unknown. As a journalist, she had made a name for herself by investigating the strange and the bizarre. So when she stumbled upon a mysterious shop tucked away in a quiet alley, she knew she had to explore it. The sign above the door read "The Wig Maker" in elegant, cursive script. Emilia had never seen a shop like it before. The windows were steamy, and the door seemed to blend seamlessly into the wall. She pushed the door open, and a bell above it rang out, alerting the shop's occupants to her presence. Inside, the shop was dimly lit, with soft, golden light spilling from table lamps. The air was thick with the scent of hair and perfume. Emilia's eyes adjusted slowly, and she saw rows of wigs on shelves, each one more exquisite than the last. There were wigs of every color, style, and length, from short, spiky styles to long, flowing locks. At the back of the shop, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was an old woman, her face lined with age and experience. She smiled, and Emilia saw a glint in her eye. "Welcome, my dear," the old woman said. "I am the wig maker. How may I assist you?" Emilia hesitated, unsure of what to say. She had never been interested in wigs before, but there was something about this shop that drew her in. "I'm just browsing," she said finally. The wig maker nodded, her eyes never leaving Emilia's face. "Browse, then," she said. "But be warned, my wigs are not for the faint of heart." Emilia wandered the aisles, running her fingers over the wigs. They were incredibly soft, and they seemed to shimmer in the light. She had never felt anything like it before. As she delved deeper into the shop, Emilia began to notice strange things. There were no prices on the wigs, and the wig maker seemed to be watching her every move. Emilia started to feel uneasy, but she couldn't quite put her finger on why. Suddenly, the wig maker appeared beside her, a wig in her hand. "Try it on," she said, her voice low and persuasive. Emilia hesitated, but the wig maker's eyes seemed to bore into her soul. She took the wig, feeling a shiver run down her spine as she put on the wig. Emilia felt a strange sensation, like her scalp was tingling. She looked in the mirror, and a stranger stared back at her. The wig was beautiful, but it was also unsettling. Emilia knew she had to get out of there, but the wig maker's eyes seemed to hold her in place. She was trapped, and she didn't know why. As soon as Emilia put on the wig, the whispers grew louder, more urgent. She felt a strange, creeping sensation on her scalp, as if the wig was alive. The wig maker watched her with an unnerving intensity, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Ah, yes," the wig maker murmured. "You can hear them, can't you? The whispers of the wigs." Emilia tried to step back, but her feet seemed rooted to the spot. The whispers grew louder still, a cacophony of voices in her mind. "What's going on?" Emilia demanded, trying to keep her voice steady. "The wigs are communicating with you," the wig maker replied, her voice dripping with reverence. "They sense your innermost thoughts, your deepest desires." Emilia felt a chill run down her spine. She tried to remove the wig, but it seemed stuck to her head. "Don't try to take it off," the wig maker warned, her eyes flashing with a warning. "The wig has chosen you. You must listen to its whispers." As Emilia stood there, frozen with fear, the whispers grew louder still. She felt her mind being pulled apart, her thoughts unraveling like threads from a tapestry. Suddenly, visions flooded her mind. Dark, twisted images of death and decay. Emilia saw herself wearing the wig, her eyes black as coal, her skin grey as the grave. She stumbled backward, the wig still clutched to her head. The wig maker cackled with glee. "You see, my dear. The wig has shown you your true self. Your deepest fears, your darkest desires." Emilia knew she had to escape. She turned and ran, the wig still clutched to her head, the whispers still echoing in her mind. But as she stumbled out into the night air, she realized that the wig was still stuck to her head. And the whispers never stopped. Emilia stumbled through the streets, desperate to escape the wig maker's shop and the eerie whispers in her mind. But the wig seemed to be a part of her now, stuck to her head like a bad omen. As she walked, she noticed strange looks from passers-by. They seemed to be staring at her hair, their eyes filled with a mix of fascination and fear. Emilia ducked into a nearby library, hoping to find some answers. She began to research the history of wigs, searching for any mention of the wig maker's shop. Hours passed, and Emilia's eyes grew tired. But then, she stumbled upon an ancient tome hidden away in the library's depths. The cover was worn and faded, but the title sent shivers down her spine, The Dark Art of Wig Making. As she opened the book, Emilia discovered a dark history of wig makers who had used their craft for sinister purposes. They had used human hair to create wigs that could control minds, manipulate thoughts, and even steal souls. Emilia felt a chill run down her spine. Was this the secret of the wig maker's shop? Was this why the wigs seemed to whisper to her, tempting her with dark desires? She read on, devouring the words like a starving woman. And then, she came across a passage that made her blood run cold. The wig maker's true power lies not in the wigs themselves, but in the hair they are made from. For in the hair lies the essence of the soul. Emilia slammed the book shut, her mind reeling with the implications. She knew she had to confront the wig maker, to demand answers about the true nature of the wigs, but as she stood up, she felt a strange sensation. The wig on her head seemed to be growing longer, the hair snaking down her back like a dark, living entity. Emilia stormed back into the wig maker's shop, determined to get answers. The wig maker looked up from her work, a hint of a smile on her face. "Ah, my dear, I see you're curious about the secrets of the wigs," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Emilia pulled out the ancient tome from her bag. "I know all about the dark history of wig making. I know about the mind control, the manipulation, the soul stealing." The wig maker's smile grew wider. "Ah, but you don't know the whole story. You don't know the true power of the wigs." Emilia's eyes narrowed. "Tell me." The wig maker leaned forward, her eyes glinting with excitement. "The wigs are not just mere hairpieces. They are vessels for the souls of the dead. And with each wig, I trap a piece of their essence, their power." Emilia felt a chill run down her spine. "You're using the wigs to harness the power of the dead?" The wig maker nodded. "Yes. And with each wig, I grow stronger. I can control the minds of those who wear them, bend them to my will." Emilia knew she had to act fast. She couldn't let the wig maker continue her sinister plans. But as she turned to leave, she felt a strange sensation. The wig on her head seemed to be tightening, the hair wrapping around her skull like a vice. "You'll never leave this place," the wig maker cackled. "The wig has chosen you. You're mine now." Emilia tried to struggle, but the wig seemed to have a mind of its own. It tightened its grip, the hair digging deep into her scalp. The wig maker cackled with glee. "You should have listened to the whispers, Emilia. Now, you'll never be free." As Emilia felt her consciousness slipping away, she saw a vision of the soul trapped within the wig. A young woman, beautiful and vibrant, with a voice that whispered sweet melodies. The soul's name was Sophia, and she had been a singer in life. But the wig maker had taken her hair, her voice, and her soul. Emilia felt a surge of determination. She wouldn't let the wig maker win. She focused all her energy on Sophia's soul, trying to connect with her. Sophia's voice whispered in her mind, "Help me, Emilia. Set me free." Emilia's eyes locked onto the wig maker. "I won't let you keep her trapped," she said, her voice firm. The wig maker sneered. "You're no match for me." But Emilia was determined. She reached deep within herself, finding a strength she never knew she had. With a fierce cry, Emilia ripped the wig from her head, freeing Sophia's soul. The wig maker's eyes widened in horror as Sophia's spirit escaped, her voice singing a haunting melody. Emilia stood tall, the wig lying at her feet. "It's over," she said. "Your secret is out." But the wig maker just laughed. "You may have freed one soul, but there are many more trapped in my wigs. And I'll never stop until I have them all." Emilia knew she had to act fast. She couldn't let the wig maker continue her sinister plans. She searched the shop, looking for any clues that might lead her to the wig maker's lair. As she rummaged through the shelves, she stumbled upon a hidden door. It was cleverly disguised as a mirror, but Emilia's instincts told her that this was the way. She pushed the door open, revealing a narrow staircase that led deep into the earth. Emilia steeled herself and began to descend. The air grew colder with each step, and Emilia could feel the weight of the wig maker's secrets pressing down upon her. Finally, she reached the bottom of the staircase and found herself in a vast underground chamber. The room was filled with rows of wig stands, each one bearing a wig that seemed to whisper to her. Emilia knew she had found the wig maker's lair. But as she turned to leave, she saw the wig maker herself, standing in the shadows. "Welcome to my home," the wig maker said, her voice dripping with malice. Here, I keep my most precious possessions. Emilia saw that the wig maker was surrounded by a circle of candles, each one bearing a wig that seemed to be alive. These are my most powerful wigs, the wig maker said. And with them, I will control the minds of the entire city. Emilia knew she had to act fast. She couldn't let the wig maker unleash her dark magic on the world. Emilia knew she had to break the circle of candles to stop the wig maker's plan. But as she approached, she felt a strange energy emanating from the wigs. Each wig seemed to be pulsing with a malevolent life of its own, as if they were waiting for her. The wig maker cackled with glee. "You'll never leave this place," she said. "My wigs will see to that." Emilia steeled herself and reached out to knock over a candle. But as she did, the wig on the stand beside it suddenly sprang to life. It wrapped its hair around Emilia's wrist, holding her in place. Emilia tried to struggle, but the wig's grip was too strong. The wig maker began to chant, her voice rising and falling in a hypnotic rhythm. The wigs on the stands began to sway, their hair writhing like snakes. Emilia felt herself being drawn into the circle, as if the wigs were pulling her in. She knew she had to resist, but the wig maker's magic was too powerful. Just as all hope seemed lost, Emilia remembered Sophia's voice. She focused on the memory of the soul she had freed, and suddenly, she felt a surge of strength. With a fierce cry, Emilia broke free from the wig's grip and knocked over the candle. The circle was broken, and the wig's hold on her was released, but the wig maker was far from defeated. She summoned a dark energy that sent Emilia flying across the room. Emilia struggled to get to her feet, but the dark energy was too powerful. It pinned her to the ground, making it hard for her to breathe. The wig maker began to laugh, her eyes gleaming with triumph. "You should have stayed out of this, Emilia," she said. "Now, you'll never leave this place." But Emilia refused to give up. She remembered the words of Sophia's song, and she began to sing them herself. The melody was weak at first, but it grew stronger with each passing moment. The dark energy began to falter, and Emilia felt her strength returning. The wig maker's eyes widened in surprise. "No," she whispered. "You can't defeat me." Emilia stood up, her voice ringing out through the cavern. The wigs on the stands began to tremble, their hair writhing in agony. The wig maker stumbled backward, her eyes fixed on Emilia in horror. "You've ruined everything," she whispered. Emilia approached her, her heart pounding with excitement. "It's over," she said. "Your secrets are out." But just as she thought she had one, Emilia felt a strange sensation. The wigs on the stands were combining, their hair merging into a single, massive entity. The wig maker's eyes gleamed with triumph. "You may have won this battle," she said. "But the war is far from over." The massive entity of combined hair began to take shape, its strands writhing like snakes. Emilia stumbled backward, horrified. The wig maker cackled with glee. "Behold, my greatest creation," she said. The hair monster. The creature towered over Emilia, its hair tendrils reaching out like tentacles. Emilia tried to run, but her feet felt heavy, as if rooted to the spot. The hair monster began to move closer, its hair whispering ominously. Emilia felt her heart racing with fear. Suddenly, Sophia's voice whispered in her mind. "Use the song, Emilia. It's the only way to defeat the monster." Emilia remembered the melody and began to sing. The hair monster paused, its hair tendrils trembling. Emilia's voice grew stronger, and the creature began to recoil. The wig maker's eyes widened in horror as her creation turned against her. The hair monster wrapped its tendrils around the wig maker, holding her in place. Emilia approached, her heart still racing. "It's over," she said, her voice firm. "Your secrets are out, and your monsters can't save you." The wig maker struggled, but the hair monster held tight. Emilia knew she had to end this once and for all. Emilia stood tall, her eyes locked on the wig maker. "It's time to face justice," she said. The wig maker snarled, her eyes flashing with anger. "You'll never take me alive," she spat. But Emilia was not alone. Sophia's spirit stood beside her, her presence a reminder of the souls the wig maker had trapped. With a nod, Emilia began to sing the final verse of Sophia's song. The melody was powerful, and it shook the very foundations of the cavern. The hair monster trembled, its tendrils loosening their grip on the wig maker. But Emilia's song held the creature in place, preventing it from escaping. The wig maker's eyes widened as she realized her fate was sealed. Emilia's song was a binding spell. one that would trap her forever. As the final notes faded away, the cavern fell silent. The wig maker was frozen in place, her eyes fixed on Emilia with a mixture of anger and fear. Emilia approached her, a sense of closure washing over her. "It's over," she said. "Your secrets are out, and your reign of terror is at an end." And with that, Emilia turned to leave, knowing that the city was finally safe from the wig maker's sinister plans. But as she reached the entrance, she heard a faint whisper in her ear. "The wigs will always remember." Emilia emerged from the cavern, blinking in the bright sunlight. She felt a sense of relief wash over her, knowing that the wig maker's evil plans had been foiled. But as she looked back at the cavern entrance, she saw something that made her blood run cold. The wigs, once trapped in the cavern, were now free. They were crawling out of the entrance, their hair writhing like snakes. Emilia knew that she had to act fast. She couldn't let the wigs spread their darkness throughout the city. She ran back to the authorities, telling them everything. They listened in shock, but they quickly sprang into action. Together, they worked to round up the wigs and trap them once more. It was a long and difficult process. But eventually, they succeeded. The city was safe once more. But Emilia knew that she would never forget the terror of the wigs. She had faced her fears and come out victorious, but she knew that she would always be haunted by the memories of the wig maker's lair. As she walked away from the cavern, Emilia felt a hand on her shoulder. It was Sophia's spirit, finally at peace. "Thank you," Sophia whispered. "You freed me from my prison. I can finally rest." Emilia smiled, feeling a sense of closure. "You're welcome," she said. "I'm just glad I could help." And with that, Sophia's spirit vanished. Emilia knew that she would never forget her, or the terror of the wigs. Emilia thought she had seen the last of the wigs, but she was wrong. As she walked through the city, she began to notice strange occurrences. People who had once worn the wigs were now acting strangely, as if they were being controlled by some unseen force. Emilia knew that she had to investigate further. She discovered that the wigs had left behind a dark legacy, a residual magic that continued to manipulate those who had once worn them. Determined to put an end to the wig maker's evil once and for all, Emilia set out to find a way to break the curse. She scoured the city for clues, seeking out anyone who might know how to lift the spell. As she delved deeper into the mystery, Emilia realized that the wig maker's secrets were far more sinister than she had ever imagined. The wigs were just the beginning, a small part of a larger scheme to control the minds of the entire city. Emilia knew that she had to stop the curse before it was too late. But as she worked to uncover the truth, she began to realize that she was in grave danger. The forces of darkness were gathering, and they would stop at nothing to keep the wig maker's secrets buried. Emilia's search for answers led her to a mysterious secret society, hidden deep in the heart of the city. They were known only as the Order of the Red Thread, and rumors whispered that they possessed knowledge of the dark arts. Emilia was hesitant to trust them, but she knew she had to take the risk. She sought out their leader, an enigmatic figure known only as the Aran. The Aran revealed to Emilia that the wig maker's curse was just a small part of a larger web of deceit and manipulation. The Order had been working to undo the damage, but they needed Emilia's help to finally break the curse. Emilia agreed to work with them, and together they embarked on a perilous journey to uncover the source of the curse. They navigated hidden temples, ancient artifacts, and forbidden knowledge, all in the hopes of finding a way to stop the wig maker's evil once and for all. But as they delved deeper into the mystery, Emilia began to realize that the Order's true intentions may not be entirely pure. Were they truly working to break the curse, or did they have their own sinister motives? Emilia and the Order of the Red Thread finally reached the hidden temple, an ancient structure hidden deep beneath the city's streets. The air was thick with the scent of incense and something else, something darker. As they made their way deeper into the temple, Emilia saw strange symbols etched into the walls. They seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and she knew they were getting close to the source of the curse. The Aran led her to a large stone door, adorned with a symbol of a red thread. "This is it," he said. "The heart of the curse. Are you prepared to face what lies within?" Emilia steeled herself and nodded. The door creaked open, revealing a chamber filled with rows of ancient looms. And on each loom, a wig was being woven, wigs that seemed to be made of a dark, ethereal material. Suddenly, Emilia heard a voice, the wig maker's voice. "Welcome, Emilia," it said. "I've been waiting for you. You'll never leave this place." Emilia spun around, but there was no one there. The voice seemed to be coming from all around her, and from within her own mind. Emilia approached the looms, feeling a sense of unease. The wigs being woven on them seemed to be alive, their threads writhing like snakes. The wig maker's voice laughed in her mind. "You see, Emilia, I've been busy. These wigs will be my masterpiece. With them, I'll control the minds of the entire city." Emilia knew she had to act fast. She reached out to touch one of the looms, but as she did, the threads began to wrap around her wrist. The Aran appeared beside her, his eyes gleaming with a knowing light. "The looms are enchanted," he said. "You must use the red thread to break the curse." Emilia remembered the symbol on the door. She pulled out the red thread from her pocket and began to weave it into the loom's pattern. The threads began to glow, and the wigs on the looms started to unravel. The wig maker's voice screamed in rage as her control began to slip, but just as Emilia thought she was winning, the threads suddenly went limp. The wigs began to reweave themselves, and the curse seemed to grow stronger. The Aran's eyes narrowed. "There's something else at play here," he said. "Something we didn't count on." Emilia and the Aran were caught off guard as the wigs continued to reweave themselves. But just as they were about to give up hope, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Sophia, the spirit of the wig maker's first victim. She had been watching Emilia from the beginning, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Sophia's spirit began to weave a counter-curse, using her own thread to undo the damage. The wigs on the looms began to unravel once more, and the curse started to weaken. The wig maker's voice was furious, but Emilia and the Aran knew they had the upper hand. With Sophia's help, they worked to break the curse once and for all. As they finished the final thread, the temple began to shake. The looms collapsed, and the wigs turned to dust. The curse was lifted, and the city was finally free, but as they turned to leave, Emilia saw something that made her heart skip a beat. The Aran was holding a small, delicate box, a box adorned with the symbol of the red thread. "What's that?" Emilia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The Aran smiled. "A little something I've been saving for later," he said. "The true secret of the wig maker's power." Emilia's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" she asked, her hand on the box. The Aran chuckled. "The wig maker's power wasn't just in her wigs," he said. "It was in her knowledge. And I have that knowledge now." Emilia felt a chill run down her spine. "What are you going to do with it?" she asked. The Aran's smile grew wider. "I'm going to use it to control the city," he said. "And you, Emilia, are going to help me." Emilia was horrified. She had trusted the Aran, and now she realized he had been using her all along. Sophia's spirit appeared beside her, her eyes blazing with anger. "You'll never let him get away with this," she said. Emilia nodded, determination burning within her. She would stop the Aran, no matter what it took. But as she turned to face him, she saw something that made her heart skip a beat. The Aran was holding a wig, one that looked exactly like her own hair. "Recognize this?" he asked, his eyes glinting with malice. Emilia's eyes widened as she stared at the wig. "Where did you get that?" she demanded. The Aran chuckled. "I've been planning this for a long time," he said. "You see, Emilia, you're the key to my plan. With your hair, I can control the entire city." Emilia felt a surge of fear. She knew she had to act fast. Sophia's spirit nodded in agreement, and together they launched a fierce attack on the Aran. The battle was intense, with threads flying everywhere. Emilia used all her skills to try and defeat the Aran, but he was too powerful. Just when it seemed like all was lost, Emilia remembered the words of the wig maker's song. She began to sing, her voice weaving a powerful spell. The threads around her began to glow, and the Aran stumbled back. Emilia took advantage of the distraction to grab the wig and rip it to shreds. The Aran's eyes widened in horror as his plan was foiled. Emilia stood tall, her heart pounding with triumph. "It's over," she said. "Your secrets are out, and your plans are ruined." The Aran snarled, but Emilia could see the defeat in his eyes. She had won, but as she turned to leave, she felt a strange sensation. The threads around her were still glowing, and she could feel a power growing inside her. Emilia stumbled backward, shocked by the sudden surge of power. Sophia's spirit appeared beside her, eyes shining with a knowing light. "What's happening?" Emilia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Sophia's spirit smiled. "You've become the new keeper of the threads," she said. "The wig maker's secrets are now yours to wield." Emilia's mind reeled as she tried to comprehend the implications. She had defeated the Archon, but now she had inherited a power she didn't fully understand. As she looked down at her hands, she saw that they were glowing with a soft, ethereal light. The threads seemed to be alive, writhing like snakes around her fingers. Emilia knew that she had a choice to make. She could use this power for good, or let it consume her like it had the wig maker. With a deep breath, she made her decision. She would use the threads to protect the city, to keep the darkness at bay. And so, Emilia became the new guardian of the threads, a secret keeper of the wig maker's legacy. She vowed to use her power wisely, to keep the city safe from those who would misuse the ancient magic. But as she walked away from the temple, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, that the threads were waiting for her to make her next move.